Hello? Let's see. Are we recording? Let me check if I'm recording. Hello, guys. It's Brian Akeem. Welcome to my live stream, 144th. Did I get the date wrong? I am so sorry about that. Let me just fix that for you guys. I am so sorry about that. It's been a while since I've done a stream, and I can't believe I got the date wrong. Can you fix the title stream? Yes. I apologize for that. I don't know how that happened, honestly, but I apologize. Okay, let me refresh. Hey guys, hey Rick, Josh, Epic, thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Let's get started. All right. If you guys want to talk to me on Discord, just let me know. Let's see. Okay, hold on. So my voice is connected. All right. All right, guys. So if you're listening, I'm gonna be in the Discord chat. Just let me know if you want to join. And guys, please ask me questions. Let's see. Oh, hey Rick. Glad you can make it.
Hey Brian, how you doing?
Hey man. Pretty good, pretty good. Good episode. Definitely think that. I mean, I did expect more, but honestly, I'm just glad The Walking Dead is back. Honestly, ever since the end of The Walking Dead main show, in my opinion, this is a true Walking Dead. Not Daryl in France, not Nagy taking a vacation in New York. No, this is true Walking Dead. You know what I mean? So
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it must be different for you because you didn't watch Dead City and Daryl, so you haven't watched a full episode or a new full episode since the series finale of Walking Dead, right?
yes, that's right. Minus some rewatching of World Beyond and stuff, but yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess you can say that, but then again, it's like, I guess I can ask you, like, would you say that's somewhat justified as a claim, even by you? So, like, for example, does Dead City really feel like, you know, it's still Walking Dead or Daryl Dixon, or does this really feel like the true sequel to The Walking Dead?
For the ones who live.
No, for the main show, like, what really feels like the true sequel after The Walking Dead? Main show.
I mean, the thing is, I think this one, the ones who live, does. It feels more important. Daryl's isn't bad. It's not, but it doesn't hurt if you don't watch it. But Dead City, I don't think you don't need to watch it at all. It
Right.
doesn't really do anything to the story, but yeah,
Right.
The
Yeah.
Ones Who
Better.
Live is definitely a sequel.
Yeah. Hey, Chosen. What's up, man?
Nothing. Are you streaming right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, nice. I haven't been on one of these in a while.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, man. Um, so what did you think of the episode? A lot of people are saying it's great. And I'm definitely curious what your opinion is because I already know Rick's opinion on it. I think he said that it's good, it's really good, but just has a few like nitpicks, like small like questionable things, which are I would say are somewhat justified. You know, so like like things that don't make sense really. But yeah, other than that, like yeah, what would you say the episode was for you?
I actually haven't seen it yet. I just came in just to say hi,
Oh,
basically.
okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, we are gonna talk spoilers, so yeah,
Yeah.
you probably don't wanna watch. You probably don't want to stay, sadly. But yeah, man, I'm glad you came. I miss us, having conversations with The Walking Dead, and only five more streams, and then the show is over. Like it's really not that much. Like I'm not asking for like a 24 season of this show, but sorry, 24 episode for this show. But you know, what I mean, like the final season of The Walking Dead. But I definitely think that we just need more Rick Grimes in 6 episodes. I mean, there's only 5 left, and we're not even going to get a lot of him in episode 2. So
Hmm. One thing before I leave. So would you say like the episode is like better written like quality wise like what we see from what we see and also just like story wise from like the what we've been getting recently in The Walking Dead like
um,
in the main show.
I mean, like in terms of like budget and stuff, in terms of like writing and how the characters talk, yes, but there are still some issues I have with this episode. One is, and not spoiling for you, the pacing it's definitely weird. Like it definitely weirds you out in the episode. Like how they do like the past, the present, the future, the current timeline. Like it definitely gets a little bit weird at times. Like you know what I mean?
Really?
Hmm.
I thought it was all right.
Well, like it goes really fast in the way that they're like, I'm not gonna say how, but like you know what I mean. Like they say like it's this timeline, and then they show this scene, and then this timeline, and it's like you know what I mean. But it's I guess what I'm trying to say is that regardless of the fact that they skipped a lot of time, it still kind of felt rushed in certain parts. Like you know what I mean. Like some parts I kind of felt like some scenes were like really slow like long and you know what I mean. Then other parts were like, wow, they skimmed through this fast. Um, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll leave you to it then.
yeah.
All
So
right.
all right, take care, man. Bye. Okay, so now that
Oh,
he's gone, Rick, let me just read the chat a little bit, and then I'm going to we're gonna talk about the episode. So, is this better than the series finale? And here's Negan for you. Um, The series finale, I'm not sure. Like that was a really good episode, but it was cheap. Like you know what I mean? Like a lot of parts were cheap. Like although the explosion was good. Um, as far as Here's Negan, oh yeah, this episode was way better than Here's Negan. Like I'm not saying Here's Negan was a bad episode, but it had so many problems with it. Would you say this? Oh, Days Gone By as a premiere? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Do you have an opinion on the intro for the show? I like it. I like it, Josh. Thank you for the questions, by the way. My only disappointment was that Scott wasn't in the dream sequence. He's dead. He's dead, DeRosa. Scott is dead. Hi, DeRosa. What's up, bro? Okay. All right. I read the chat. So, okay. So, like, moving on through the episode. Like I said, man, I like the episode. It's just that, like, for example, the episode is called Years, and they show Rick in the beginning, all that stuff, and then we get the intro, which I did like, you know what I mean. But then they say 5 years after the bridge, you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was like it was like, wait, what? Like why are you showing us 5 years after the bridge? Why not show us 2 weeks after the bridge and Rick's in the hospital, or I don't know, something else. Like it's just kind of weird that like you skipped 5 whole years, and then so, like because you skipped 5 whole years, most of this episode is just 1 to 2 years in terms of time frame. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I I was hoping they would start it with him when we got him after the bridge. I was hoping to see his reaction to the whole CRM thing, but they kind of just went forward a bit to him escaping. So, but other than that, I didn't really have problems with the episode.
yeah, but like um what did you think about the test scene at the with the consignee in the beginnings? The consignees in the beginning. I expected
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
where Rick, loses his hand. I expected a lot more death in this scene. I thought we were gonna get the death of every consignee minus Rick and Pearl. Like I thought all those people were like gonna be slaughtered. But it's just like no, Rick just loses.
No.
Well, I did. I mean, I kind of thought like it was gonna be a bloodbath. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because my only issues with that scene was the way they did it about having him cut off his hand. Like he cut his hand off with the same damn axe he killed walkers with. So
Right, right. I
that
noticed
that's
that
been
too.
breaking the rule of Walking Dead. They've been doing that so much. They did it in Telltale, but I know that's not in the TV universe. But still, they've broken rules so much. So when I saw that, that kind of bugged me because I'm like, he kind of already infected himself. So, but they're
Right.
just ignoring that.
Right, and there's a simple way around this. There's a simple way to fix this plot hole. You just have a consignee that next to Rick that he keeps killing walkers, protecting them, and then that consignee gets bit, killed, and their axe is clean. And Rick loses his axe, the bloody one, and he picks up the clean one to chop his hand off. Like that's a simple fix. And some people might say, um, was oh, Josh, you got to watch that scene, man. Um, oh, DeRosa, he said that the thing is that he burned his hand, though. Yeah, that's true, DeRosa. But here's the thing, though. He burned his hand on a zombie that was burning. That cannot be
Yeah, he did that.
clean. That cannot be clean because walker flesh, even if it's burning, the fire that's coming off of it, like it just wouldn't that also contaminate your bloodstream because it's from the dead zombie? Like I'm just saying that like there's a difference between burning a burning metal or burning wood and then a burning zombie. Like the flesh of the zombie should be I don't know, like I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I kind of feel like that's a bit weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, in my opinion, Rick did not plan that out. He did not know he was going to need fire. Like, he just immediately took the axe. Like, he knows Walker blood in the bloodstream can kill you. Um, and I don't know. His plan
Yeah,
just didn't make a
yeah.
whole lot of sense. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, there should have been a scene. I get it. He's chopping off his hand. But I'm saying there should have been a scene where it's like, okay, after he chopped off his hand, he pulled out, like, this band aid or something. Not bandage, like bandages from his back pocket. And it's like, oh, okay, so Rick had it definitely, he had this planned out. Like, you know what I mean? Rather than just, like, he just did it on a whim. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying that like I said, I think it's a cool scene. I'm just, it obviously Rick cut off his hand for nothing, if you think about it. I'm just saying that he had Walker blood on it. So did he plan that, or I'm saying that's something. And also, what was his plan to not bleed out? You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying that um, did Rick plan this through, like, or did he just think about this plan last minute? I don't know. Um,
I think he kind of did plan it. Not fully, but he knew he was gonna get tied. Because he's the only one there that's tied, and he's even said it before. No one else has tried to escape. It's only him that keeps escaping. So I think he kind of did plan it out, just not fully.
yeah. Oh, 1 second, man. Be right back. Uh,
All right.
yeah. Hey, man, I'm back. So, yeah, like I said, this is not a
All right.
big deal. This is not a big deal for me because, like, um, it's just something I was kind of confused on, where it was like, hey, how does that work?
That's my big issue with that episode. That's all. Like I still love the episode. It's just when I saw that of him chopping off the hand, I was like, this breaks the rules of how you turn. I mean, Rick even knows that you could turn by that because he's talked about it that episode when Simon and Dwight went to attack Hilltop.
Right. Like if he didn't cauterize it, he would have died from the infection. But then again, like I said, the burning zombie, it's like, is that really a clean way to get the fight to cauterize the wound? Because you know what I mean, just a little thing like that where I'm just like, I don't know, like, does it break the rules? I don't. It might, you know what I mean, but it might not. I don't know. It's just like I said, that's just kind of an iffy area. Um, Hold on 1 second. Thing is, he burns. Yeah. Was Rick bit? No. Do you understand coming? You gotta understand he was becoming desperate. Yeah, I understand that. It's just that um what I'm saying is he knew he was gonna chop off his hand. Like, so it's like, then why kill the zombies, with the axe if you need like to chop off your hand. That's just, I'm just trying to think like Rick at the moment. Like, he knows he's gonna
He was
chop off his
just
hand.
playing along.
Right. I'm just saying that if he didn't cauterize it, he definitely would have died from that. Um, Brian, why are you negative with everything but World Beyond? Wasteland World, I am not negative about everything. I enjoyed this episode. Andrew Lincoln did great with his acting. I love the CRM's new look. I love lore and the action. Zombies look great. I'm just saying that like this scene, it was kind of confusing in terms of the lore with the whole, zombies and stuff, like, the infection, because World Beyond is dog water. I don't know what that means. World Beyond is so correct, and nothing would change. Okay, well, to each their own, Wasteland World. I can't lie, Rick's looks so yeah, he does. I'm just saying that I got confused with the whole chopping his hand off. Like I said, did he plan that with the Walker blood and then the zombie? I'm just saying that
Hey,
yeah.
what did you think of the World Beyond connections, by the way? Because I know since you like World Beyond, what did you think of all those?
I would have liked a little bit more, like I'm really hoping, like, I'm okay now, but like I'm really hoping we see like Silas and get some mentions of Portland. Maybe we see Mason at least in the next episode or two, and then 4, 5, 6, like at least something around the last 5 episodes, like, you know what I mean, like more connections than just, oh, Omaha, like, was
Well, I'm
supposed to be.
sure he's back already at the main CRM base since already now we're at the present time by the end of the episode.
Maybe. You remember Drewski? Kind of. Uh, sort of. Rick out here like Merle. Honestly, DeRosa, Rick looks better than Merle in terms of that his prosthetic. But yeah, so okay, so then we get this hallucination dream thing where Rick dreams about the world before the apocalypse, but then like in an alternate universe maybe where he meets Michonne, and um, so like what did you think about these scenes? In my opinion, they were okay. It's just that I, if I was writing it, I get it's a love story, but if I was writing it, I would have maybe had more stuff with Rick in the CRM than just him, scenes with Michonne. Because, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a dream sequence, so, and they did this like 3 times in the episode, so, um, I don't know. Like, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just, personally, I think I would have preferred more like Rick at the CRM, kind of thing, like more scenes like that.
I I liked it. I mean, it was cool seeing that what it would be like if the apocalypse never happened and he met Michonne. I thought that was a pretty cool scene right there.
Yeah. Let's see, Rick Alamo. What do you think of the Okafor character? He was all right, but I'm not crazy. I wasn't crazy about him. I was surprised when he died. Like, dude, guys, he
That was
went out.
fast. That was fast.
Dude, it wasn't fast. He went out in a bang. Now that's not
Well,
going out in a
no,
bang.
I guess, but I didn't think a character like him would be dead in the first episode. I thought maybe if he was gonna die, it'd be later in the episodes, not right away like that.
Hey, dude, I totally made a joke about this, but I'm like, wow, this really was going to be a movie. And I totally made a joke. I'm like, because they killed off the black guy first. I'm totally joking, but I'm kidding. Okafor's death is fine. I just thought that, like, yeah, I kind of did not expect that in the first episode. You know what I mean? I didn't expect him to die.
Yeah,
I
I thought Rick was dreaming. I was like, there's no way they killed him already.
Right. So yeah, the scenes where Rick and Michonne before the apocalypse, uh, in an alternate universe kind of thing, dream, whatever, that was fine, I guess. And then after Rick chopped off his hand, he then wakes up in his apartment, and like I said, I talked to Dead Walker about this. He said that, oh, Rick didn't wake up in the hospital, because this scene takes place after he got dismissed from the hospital or got cleared from the hospital. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe. I'm just saying that, like, after Rick chopped off his hand and then passed out and then dreamed of Michonne, I think it would have been better if he woke up in the hospital, you know what I mean? Instead of just, like, oh, his apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part kind of confused me too, like, a little bit. But then Dead Walker said that, oh, maybe this takes place, weeks after he lost his hand. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that could work. Um,
You know, I do find it weird though that Jadis isn't in this episode.
yeah, that is a small issue I have with it. Because Okafor told Rick he knows everything about Michonne and Judith. He even said like where we picked you up and all that. So it's like, okay, so like Jadis had to have told somebody. There could have been. I feel like you could have had Rick at least say, "Did Jadis tell you?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you could have had Rick say that during the interrogation at least. You know what I mean?
To
With
me, it just sounds like Rick and Jadis just haven't seen each other in a long time. You know, I can understand the early days if they see each other more, but it sounds like during the present time when she's an officer now, I don't think they see each other much.
Yes. Okay, so like this is one thing I think it's pretty cool. I'll admit. So consignees. Now the CRM have a lot of consignees. They don't just kill zombies. They also do work. Like some of them work on plumbing, some of them dig holes, some of them do this and that. And it's like, oh, so you're telling me the consignees are people who get jobs outside the city to basically like fix it up again. Like, you know what I mean? Like basically like so like the CRM is basically going to expand the city, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay, so like rebuild sections of Philadelphia that were lost to the apocalypse. I'm like, okay, I actually like that. That is actually a cool lore thing with the CRM. Um, because you know what I mean? Like it's like yeah, this makes sense. Like the CRM using instead of the CRM just all we do is just sit in our little city and we don't do much and we have helicopters and this. No, it's nice to see the CRM have not just military but they have equipment to like rebuild parts of their city. You know what I mean? I'm like okay, I like this. Um, where Rick and them have to kill lots of zombies because they have to clear. Literally have to turn districts back into how they were. You know what I mean? Before the apocalypse. So I'm like, okay, this is a cool lore thing. I like it. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. I do like that Rick was a consignee for so many years because I know many were thinking he's a soldier this whole time. He was only a consignee for a while, but I think it makes sense that he becomes a soldier. Like maybe
yeah, because
by the time the Magnus group joins the main group.
I still think it's weird though that he like I don't think he needed to be a consignee for 6 whole years. Like, because like Rick just became a soldier like in the last year or two. You know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like yeah, I think I was kind of surprised by that. So yeah, Rick is killing zombies one hand. I'm going through the episode. Um, okay, yeah. So what do you think about the whole consignee district where they don't even get to live in the CRM, like in the city itself? Does that feel like a retcon or just something that's kind of confusing? So it's like, okay, so they're not even citizens. And part of me is thinking, okay, so like Jadis wasn't a citizen either, but she got in. And then same thing with Silas, he got in the city. So I'm like, okay, so like you know what I'm saying? Like
As
so
long as you fight for them.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that like that I don't know, like it's like I guess it's just kind of weird that CRM have this second class citizen thing with the whole constantly thing. You know what I mean? I guess I didn't expect that. Like I thought Rick was gonna walk inside the main city as a constantly, but it's like, oh no, there's a different section, outside the city. Because now I'm confused. I'm like, okay, so is the consignee district outside Philadelphia or is it still part of it? Because it's past the bridge. I guess I'm just confused where the locations are. Like,
It looks like it's still part of it, just another side.
yeah, I guess it's just yeah. So the CRM, I guess they have the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just sounds like they just have to earn it, like to live over there. Which his friend Esteban, I believe that's his name. He just said he was leaving, being a consignee. He was gonna go work somewhere else and be in the city.
Yeah. I guess I was just kind of confused on that whole thing. I thought it was like, oh no, I thought it was okay. You become a consignee, you work in the facilities for a couple years, and then eventually you get started with basic training or this and that in a job in the city. I guess I kind of thought it was like that. You know what I mean? Um. Okay, so
Yeah, and
oh, sorry, I was just
I
gonna.
was just gonna say that that I love the way they portrayed Rick through the years, that he really wasn't talking to people, it sounds like, because he only has like one or two friends. So I like that they portrayed that his whole focus was getting back home. He even said it too, that these people aren't my people. So I just like the way Gimpo wrote Rick for the years he's been gone.
Yeah, that's true. It's just I don't know, the whole Esteban thing. I don't know, him being his friend. Just I don't know if that fits. You know what I mean? I
He was the
never.
only one that knows about Alexandria. He's the only one
Yeah,
that Rick told.
I guess I guess I'm still just kind of surprised. I'm like, when I look at Esteban, I never, like, I don't see him as like a trusted friend of Rick. I don't know why. I just can't see it. I guess I guess
Really?
he just, I
He seemed cool.
don't know. I guess he just doesn't have that look. You know what I mean? Like, like someone who would talk to Rick. I don't know. I guess he just doesn't have that look. Wasteland
Well, he
World
said,
says, Silas will be here soon. I hope so. Relax. And the rest of the F tier cast from World Beyond. Wasteland, only some of the characters from World Beyond are F tier. Like, they're still better than the Fear characters, like most of them. But yeah, I'm happy to hear that Silas will be in the season. I hope he is. He better show up. Otherwise, I'm gonna get really mad. Because there's no reason for Silas not to be in the show, like none. I think this is where Jadis comes in and takes the role of Okafor. Yeah, but she's not leading a rebellion though. Okafor is the reason Rick isn't dead. Yeah, that's true. But it's like, think about this for a second. Okafor literally prevented Rick from getting the death penalty 4 times, like, for escaping or trying to escape. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah,
that's kind of crazy to me. Like he literally,
he's the reason why Rick's still alive.
right, like legit, like Rick would be dead 4 times over if it was not for this guy. And then yeah. And then what happens? Oh yeah, Michonne kills him. Okay, we'll get to that. Were you surprised that Okafor was the one to bomb Atlanta and Los Angeles? Yeah, kind of. I'll get to that soon. But I was just surprised. I'm like, wait, how could he have done that at the same time? Like LA, I thought LA and Atlanta were like bombed the same night. So like he was supposed to bomb Philadelphia too, and I'm like, wait a minute, like was he the National Guard for all 3 of those cities? Because like I'm pretty sure each city has its own National Guard. Like, you know what I mean? So that part kind of confused me. Um, I'm surprised we never saw him with his short hair coming into the CRM. Yeah, that's kind of true, I guess. I guess I kind of expected Rick maybe to get a haircut. Maybe. Get to the positives, please. I mean, we got to get everything you want in the future. This is just one episode. Yeah, Wasteland, I do talk about the positives. I do. You just got to pay attention. We really haven't seen who's the leader of the CRM. It's General Beale. I really don't believe it's just General Beale. Typically, generals aren't in charge. Well, you got to remember, DeRosa, the CRM is not run like, the Civic Republic, all that. It's not run like real life where politicians are in charge. Like for the CR, the government put the military in charge because of the 10-year plan they had in World Beyond. So yes, in my opinion, General Beale is the one in charge. He's just General Beale's the one in charge because the military is in charge because the civilians and the government gave them the power for 10 years. I wonder what rank he is now. Yeah, same. I wonder what Rick's ranking is. Bro, your critiques don't make sense. I just think you're mad because World Beyond turrets aren't in this episode yet. Well,
Oh,
that's your opinion, Wasteland. I feel like listen, I'm just saying that I feel like Jadis could have had a mention or maybe a scene this episode, but I'm just saying there's only 5 episodes left. I'm just saying I expected just a little bit more. Yes,
all right.
every
There's still time. I mean, it sounds like these episodes probably are close to an hour. So
yeah. And by the way, Wasteland, I'm not mad. I'm just a little bit uh like underwhelmed because I'm just expecting more connections, more characters, more this. I'm just expecting a little more. Yes, every state has an own National Guard. I'm in Army Reserves. Oh, nice. Congratulations. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, so Okafor bombed LA and then Atlanta, and then he was gonna do Philadelphia too. And I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't the National Guard in charge of that state be the one to do that? Not one guy for all three. So that part kind of confused me. You know what I mean? Like that part didn't make a lot of sense. I feel like they could have. I feel like they didn't need to say that. I feel like he could have just said that he found out that L.A. and Atlanta were bombed, and he had family there, and then he got the order to bomb Philadelphia, and he said no. I feel like he didn't need to have him say I bombed both of those cities too. I feel like that was a little unnecessary. I don't know.
Well, it's because he felt like crap doing that to LA and Atlanta, so that's when he saved Philadelphia. He didn't bomb it. He just felt like crap doing that to those both states. So
Yeah, I know. In my opinion, that's the most important thing about the character, not that he bombed Atlanta and LA. You know what I mean? Because like that's just like I don't really feel like that means as much in the story currently. Anyways, enjoying Extinction. Oh, thank you, man. How will the CRM lore in this show fit into your show? Well, you're gonna have to check out my. You're gonna have to watch the later seasons to find out. Um, because there is some references to CRM in Extinction. Because it's just something that, like I said, CRM is just so good. I feel like there should be some more connections to them. Yeah, that part doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I believe they said in the CRM started with the Pennsylvania National Guard. Yeah, exactly. So Okafor came from LA, then Atlanta, and then Philadelphia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, this guy had to go to 3 cities in one night. I'm like, that's crazy. Like,
hey, Brian,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about like Rick losing a hat? I know we just talked about it, but do you still feel like there's no point of doing that, or do you think it's fine now?
It's fine now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so obviously at first I was like, listen, I don't think there's a point to it. I didn't say I would hate the show. I didn't say I would rant if Rick lost his hand. I said that I just don't think there's a point because there's only 6 episodes. It might hurt the budget. And Aaron lost his hand too. You know what I mean? That whole thing. And then I also said like, okay, if he loses his hand to General Beale, then he can't be a valuable soldier. You know what I mean? So in this version, I think it's a lot better because it's like, oh, okay, so it wasn't Beale punishing him because that's stupid. If you want to have someone be a soldier, why chop off their hand? It makes no sense. And then, and it's not going to affect the budget because we saw how Rick's prosthetic is an Assassin's Creed blade, which hidden blade, which I love. That was so good. Which I'm like, oh yes, I love that. That is great. Like, you know what I mean? Rick is have trouble shooting, but I'm like, yes, that is a good. I'm glad. I will admit, AMC exceeded my expectations with Rick losing his hand and why, how it matters, because now I'm like, okay, that hidden blade that Rick has, the black hidden blade, I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. That is good. Um, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, that part doesn't make much sense. I would enjoy Extinction. I would enjoy more seasons of Extinction, to be honest. Well, thanks, man. I'm only doing 5 though, like, and maybe a 6-1 if it gets enough support. So I told you guys, Extinction is going to end this year with the last 8 episodes of season 5, and it is going to, it's going to conclude the entire story that has been building up for 5 seasons, but it's also going to set up a potential 6th and final season to expand on, the characters a little bit more and then fully conclude the series. But like I said, a sixth season will only come out if I get enough support on it, and it wouldn't come
Sorry,
out for a while.
I just realized my mic was muted.
That's okay. Realistically,
What I
someone
was
missing an
saying.
arm wouldn't be in the military. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that when we were talking about Rick's hand, before I was against it because I thought I was already too late now. But seeing how they portrayed it, I do now support the idea because it just showed how desperate he is to get home. So I thought that was pretty cool because I thought him getting bit or punishment by Beale, I just thought it'd be lame, but this was pretty cool the way they portrayed it.
Yeah, I agree. I was pleasantly surprised by this. Because when Rick, like I said, when he pulled, you've seen Assassin's Creed, right?
No, I haven't, but I saw what people were talking about it because they're comparing it Rick's hand, so
Right,
I know how
right,
it
right.
looks.
In the early 2000s, the Assassin's Creed series, like I said, these assassins that hide in the dark, they protect innocent people, they kill murderers and bad people and stuff, and they have these hidden blades in their forearms. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that is like Rick is now an assassin. I'm like, okay, that's good. I like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like even though before I was like, no, no, don't get rid of Rick's hand. It's a bad idea. Because like I said, it was a couple of reasons why I said it was a bad idea. One is like I'm like, well, it would make Aaron losing his arm pointless. It's kind of a cliche in the Walking Dead universe, character getting bit, chopping off their arm, like because seriously, Alicia, Elton, Lydia, Merle, like even though he wasn't bit, like it's just got to be a few more other characters. Like I think Herschel, yeah, Herschel too, but with the leg, Clementine with the leg. I'm like, okay, enough is enough. We can't.
Elton,
Sorry, who?
Elton, World Beyond.
Oh yeah, I already said him, but yeah.
Oh, you
I
did?
just
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
yeah, that's okay. I just think that like yeah, like I'm like, listen, I just don't want another character gets bit, they lose their arm, and then they have a stump or something. I'm like, because like I said, I'm like a stump is not going to work in for Rick. It's just not gonna work. In the comic it worked, but in the show it just wouldn't have worked with the CRM plotline. But it's like, oh okay, like this is how it is, and it's like okay, not bad. I like it. I like it. Here's one thing I'll ask you, Rick. Do you think that what do you think about the new CRM designs? And I'm not talking about the elite group, the frontiers. I'm talking about where are the world beyond CRM soldiers?
The
Like
ones with no mask?
no no the no no the C well sort of. We saw two types of soldiers in World Beyond. We saw the ones with the vests and the not bandanas, but the berets or what berets? I mean the hats that they
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
Yeah. And then
They
and then
went with Jadis to arrest Elizabeth, I remember.
right. So we should see a few of them at some point in this show. And then the second is the most common soldiers for in Fear and World Beyond. Remember the one with the big helmets? You know what I mean? The CRM
Yeah.
soldiers with the big helmets. Those are the main soldiers, right? That's the main army, right? Like I didn't see them. I didn't see any of them in this episode. Like those type of soldiers.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, like I thought the CRM soldiers, this new style was just a different division, but I'm like, did they retcon the CRM design? Like, or like completely
I
change the
mean,
look?
they kind of have before. I mean, because in Fear the Walking Dead, I think season 5, the helmet, the front, it looks different compared when you see them in World Beyond, in the first season.
Right,
If you
right,
look back to it.
right. But here's the funny thing, though. Rick's episode mostly takes place around the same time as World Beyond, so it's like, shouldn't the soldiers look exactly the same, or at least you know what I'm saying?
I think
That's
it's just different. They're just different around where Rick is at. I think mostly if they're going out there, they just have the regular soldiers go out.
yeah, I guess
That's
that's
what I
true.
think.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm just hoping, I'm just hoping we see at least some of the old CRM soldier designs. Because like you know what I mean, from Fear and World Beyond, because that's the main look for them that we've seen them in for so long. So I'm like, yeah, we should see them, that style of soldiers too. Like you know what I mean? At some
Yeah.
point.
Um, you know, I was gonna ask you, what did you think of Beale's entrance in the first episode?
I didn't expect it, honestly. Like he just walks in like on a bench at the consignee district. I did not expect that.
Was it
Um,
consignee? Because Rick was already he accepted being a soldier, so he was with the others training.
I think it looked like the same bench though. Wasn't it the same bench?
Really? No, it looked like a different side. It was a different side of the place. It wasn't like at the same spot where he was talking with Esteban.
Uh, I guess it looked I guess it looks similar because I think the bridge was on the right side. I'll have to check, but yeah, if the bridge was on the left side when he talks to Beale, then I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, it's a different side. But if not, then I'm like, okay, that might be a production error. But okay, so okay, yeah, okay. Here's another thing. So Rick talks to Esteban. He decides he wants to be a soldier because it's his best chance to escape CRM. Um, but here's something I have a question. Why does Lieutenant Colonel Okafor, why does he live in a greenhouse? That bugged me. This bugged me. Why does he live in a greenhouse? Like, Lieutenant Colonel Kublik lived in a high-rise, modern, fancy mansion apartment thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she had a flat screen. I think she had like a flat screen TV. She had modern appliances. You know what I'm saying? Like a view of the city. And then Okafor gets a greenhouse. Like, that bugged me a little bit.
He probably chose to live there.
Maybe. Still is kind of weird though. Still kind of found that a little bit weird. I don't know.
You know, I just thought about this earlier today, but
Go ahead.
Rick accepting to be a soldier just to escape. I'm like, why did he just think about that already 6 years in? Like he was like, oh hey, I could be a soldier, just play along. I thought he would have just thought about that as soon as he's offered it.
I guess Rick never really thought. I guess like his personality is just not one of those people that can play the long game. We
I
gotta
know,
remember.
but 6 years in, you would think he would have thought about that before.
I don't know. I don't know honestly. Hold on, let me read the chat. I heard someone say that Gimple said that there would be another returning character in the show. I wonder what it could be. Possibly a dream sequence. I don't know, DeRosa. Good question. Returning character. I hope it's the World Beyond characters because it can't be Morgan in my opinion. It can't be Daryl. I mean, maybe we could get him in a post-credit scene, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I have people telling me Morgan.
yeah. Um, DeRosa says maybe that's how the CRM looks like over there. I don't know, man. I'm confused on the CRM design outfit a little bit. Like, I'm still going to believe they're different sections and different ranks of soldiers, different divisions. And we just didn't see any of the classic CRM soldiers. If they knew what was good for them, they retcon the suits from World Beyond, Fear and World Beyond. They look like walking toasters. Yeah, but here's the thing, Wasteland. It doesn't matter if something was bad in the story. You can't retcon it. Like, I didn't hate the CRM design in Fear and World Beyond. I didn't hate their soldier design. That's okay. That works. It's not the most practical thing, but it's fine. But the thing is, like, if you establish that in the universe, you got to keep that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't retcon it. It doesn't make it better. Retcons make a series worse, even if it's for a good reason. You got to just, kind of do something like that. What's your ranking? What's your rating for the episode? I don't know. Maybe I would say like a 7.8. Like it's good. Like it, you know what I mean? Like like it's close to like, I would say it's very good. It's close to great, but I don't think it's great, honestly. I just feel like there was, a few more things they could have done to make me go like, wow, I was blown away. Like, all this stuff. I did like the ending though. Like, but yeah. A Shane dream sequence would be dope. I don't know. I don't want to see Shane, honestly.
No.
I hope it's Iris. Iris is smoking. Dude, Wasteland, she's a
Nope
minor.
again.
Wasteland, Iris is a minor. Okay, so moving on.
No. Get Iris far away from the show.
Oh, dude, bro, she has to save Rick. Iris saving Rick. Yes, it's got to happen. Like,
I'd rather have Althea just come save him than have Iris.
Althea.
Yeah, from Fear.
Yeah, but let's be honest, she's never coming back to the franchise. I don't blame her.
Neither is Heath. Heath is done.
Who? Keith?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Heath, Corey Hawkins, forget him, man. He one of the most
I thought
disloyal.
they would have showed something of him. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it through watching the episode, but after I was like, hey, I'm surprised they didn't show like a test subject of Heath or something, because he was literally traded to them. So it's surprising that they're not showing what happened just to get people to shut up about it.
Yeah. Iris is an awful character. I won't disagree with you there. Iris is frustrating. Are you calling me a creep? Apologize to me. No, Wasteland, I'm not apologizing to you. I didn't call you a creep. I was having a joke. I don't know how old you are. I was just having some fun, just like you saying Iris is smoking hot. I am not apologizing to you. Okay.
I guess it's like 16, 17, maybe.
Yeah, I was just making a joke. I wasn't calling anyone a creep. If Rick sees Heath, he's gonna be like, "Who are you?" Exactly. Rick could not care less about Heath. Like, let's be honest. If Heath was alive, we would see him, and we would have seen him in the very first episode. Like, let's be honest. He would have been a constant.
Uh,
Apologize
I
to me
don't
if I
know.
took it offensively. Well, that's your problem, Wasteland. I didn't say anything offensive. I was just having a laugh. I wasn't calling you a creep. Get over it. If you don't like it, you can leave. I'm not apologizing. No, he's not calling you a creep, Wasteland.
I think honestly, Rick might remember Heath.
No,
I think so.
I don't think so, man. It's been so many years. Like, I don't even think he had like one genuine conversation with him.
No, he didn't. No, actually, no, he saw him. They had a meeting in episode 1 of season 6 where they were talking about. He was saying how he saw the herd, that Rick and Morgan saw. But him and his group, when they would go scavenge, they never did anything about it. So they just had a meeting what to do about that herd. So Rick was listening to him talk, but they didn't have a full like conversation with each other. That was the only time where there was like Heath and Rick in the same room. That was it.
Okay, Wasteland, if you were just kidding around, you should have made that more clear. Because, like I said, you made it sound like I can't read sarcasm off a text. I can't read sarcasm off your comment. You gotta put an XD or just kidding or something after your comment so I know you're kidding. If you say I'm offended or something, you gotta make it clear. You're not being clear with that. General Heath. No. That's ridiculous, DeRosa. Um, here's the next
At
thing.
least
Okay, so what did you think about? Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we get to the Okafor bringing Rick and Pearl outside the city, and they're talking and all that. So he gives them some books, I guess, to study and stuff and all that. Okay, but here's the
the
thing, though.
artist piece.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. How is the art of peace going to help in a revolution? Oh, that is the book that turned Morgan Jones into an idiot. Like, are we
Yeah,
really
but it was just a reference to Morgan, really. And I think that's what they were doing.
right? But it's not practical. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not at all practical in the situation. Like, if you're gonna do a reference, like to something, it has to at least at least it has to kind of pertain somewhat to the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, just think about that. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be a reference. They could have at least said in the insider of the episode or in the trivia or something. They could have said, "Oh, the book it was actually art of peace," but that is in their world. That's actually not what they're going to read. It was just for us to see, not for them to actually read that. I don't know. I feel they could have done something like that. Like I said, I'm okay with some Easter eggs, but not when it relates to fear in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like when it
Yeah.
relates to the worst part of fear, Morgan and the pacifist, I'm like, nope, I don't want any connection to that.
I'm kind of a little annoyed they changed the ways of A and B. Well,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
We
did. They
always,
kind of did.
yeah, we always saw in World Beyond. I mean, they made it clear A's are test subjects and B's are fighters. I mean, it's still a test subject. It still is for A, but they kind of changed how it is because you have to be you can't be a leader in the CRM. They don't want somebody like Rick apparently to like make a rebellion against Beal. So that they make
Right,
those people into A's. So it just leaves it confused, because Jadis was trading. She was always trading A's when we met her. So that's why, again, when I brought
right,
up Heath, I knew he was traded as an A. But just now
right,
knowing they only do that to people who are leaders, because he's not a leader.
right.
He's basically what they described as bees that are desperate to survive, just to follow people's leads for help. And that's literally what it sounds like when the writers explained Heath. disappearance that he went to Jadis for help. That sounds like someone that's a B, but she was never trading Bs. She was always trading As. So it's just these are confusing.
Right. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I mean, Deadwalker and some other people no, sorry, Negan explained it to me. It does seem a bit of a retcon because yeah, in World Beyond, they made it clear how A's were test subjects, because I think even Dr. Belshaw was like, when will I have the next A or something? And then also they're like, test subject A402, Dr. Abbott. So you know what I mean? It's like, oh, A number this. It's like, okay, yeah, so A is a test subject. You know what I mean? Um, the fact that he, like, okay, so like for example, Dr. Abbott, he wasn't a strong leader. He was just a doctor who found out what the CRM was doing to his formula. They were gonna use it to kill people, and he said, "No, I'm gonna tell them." How does that make him a strong leader? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that part just doesn't make sense. Also, the fact that Jadis thought Heath was a strong leader, like, come on. Like,
Yeah,
what?
the one thing I could think of is that she probably just didn't care. She just lies about who's an A and B. So she's always trading A's, right? So
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, to be fair, even Jada said this back in World Beyond. She said, "I had someone special. I had an A, but I said that he was a B, so he wouldn't end up in your mother's lab. I owed him that much." So you know what I mean? And then also there was the fact that Jadis was like, "I gave the CRM something very valuable." Like, so obviously we know that she gave them Rick a B. So I always figured that. So to me, I'm like, oh wait, so an A is more valuable than a B? So they kill A's, but they let B's live. So like, you know what I mean? That part just really confuses me because I'm like, because like they said that, oh, B's are just normal CRM workers, they could just die and we replace them. But then Jadis also says that, yeah, this B I gave them was so good, I'm a warrant officer now. It's like,
it
it's kind of
yeah,
contradictory. You know what I mean?
it kind of makes sense though. Like when Rick was talking to Beal when he first saw him, Rick kind of had like it seemed like not scared, but like someone that is nervous to me. General Beal, he had to act that way, and that's not really Rick at all. So, but he did that because it's to survive. Because if Rick just acts like himself, not respecting Beal or something like that, I think he'd be dead. So,
Yeah,
because that's what they want. They want people to like kind of fear Beal or something like that.
yeah, I guess. Um, Yeah, so anyway, so okay, so I do like this. Okafor is talking about how, hey, the CRM needs to change and this and that. Rick doesn't care. He wants to leave the CRM, go back to his family. Pearl doesn't care because she just wants a simple life in the CRM. That's it. And Okafor is like, hey, listen, we got to make things change. Um, okay, so
Oh, Brian, I think you
Morgan's
should check your chat. It sounds crazy.
Yeah. Morgan's character arc was great though, only on the OG show. Actually, wait. Sorry. Actually, Darrell. So I still didn't like Morgan's arc in the show. Like in season 5, Morgan. No, not season 5. Season 6, Morgan started kind of frustrating me with the whole. We shouldn't kill. We should do this and that. I'm like, Morgan, you gotta kill sometimes. And then season 7, he really was pissing me off with the no, we shouldn't kill and this and that. We gotta be better. And I'm like, Morgan, shut up and die. And then season 8, he's just all crazy, killing and killing. But then it gets so bad to where somehow he senses Henry next to him and he knocks him down. Like, I'm like, okay, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like they went too far with it the other way. So yeah. Hey Nick.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. So I haven't seen the episode yet, so try not to spoil it.
Nick, you gotta. I'm sorry, you gotta leave because we're talking about spoilers. I'm sorry, but this is the part of my streams where I talk about spoilers. I can't VC with you if we don't talk about the spoilers. I'm sorry, man.
He left.
Yeah. Like, listen, guys, I'm sorry, but I can't change my streams. I can't delay them because I pick my streams when when I'm free to talk, and I have to talk about what happens in the episode. It's been a day now, over a day since the episode came out, so I have to talk about it. I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
Wow, I'm surprised some people haven't seen it when they joined here. I'm surprised.
Right. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah, I know. I wonder if that girl basically stopped Rick is going any part of the story. Yeah, I wonder that too. I don't think so. Do you think Negan would take over if he joined the CRM? No, I don't think so. DeRosa, I don't think Negan is. He doesn't. He
Negan
has
would have
charisma.
died.
Yeah, Negan is. He's too foul mouthed to be a soldier. Like, you know what I mean? He's too, like I said, foul mouthed as far as talking. Like, he just doesn't have that respectable soldier personality. Kind of like Daryl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Daryl's the opposite. He doesn't have enough of a voice to be a soldier. Negan has too much. You know what I mean? You know what I
I
mean?
think they would have killed Daryl, honestly, in
Oh
the
yeah,
CRM.
dude, they would have either executed him or forced him to get a haircut. Like, they would have said either you get a haircut or you die, and Daryl would have just been like, "Go ahead and kill me." Like, um, how would Negan react to
Yes.
How would Negan react to the CRM? Well, DeRosa, we've kind of seen that. We saw that back in season 8. He saw a CRM helicopter and he was like, "Holy crap!" And then he asked about Jadis about that, and then he just ignored it for a decade. So, yeah.
I mean, there's not really much he could do about it. It's like he's not going to talk about it with the group.
But dude, like, that's something you can't just keep to yourself in a zombie apocalypse. Like, why would you do that? Why would you?
I mean, he knew. I like that he was a little scared because he knew that for Negan, he always thought that his group was, the most powerful in the world, and he saw there's, a bigger group out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but still, like, the fact that the characters don't mention it, that's kind of weird. I like how Overfor wants to take over the right way, but moving up the ranks. I don't understand why they can't just go to the civilian government and just expose Beale for all the crap he's done. Like, I feel like that's the most simple way to overthrow the CRM. I don't know. You said Jadis was a warrant officer? Yes, Jadis is a warrant officer. That means Okafor outranks her. Yes, exactly. Brian, my mom was there and she hasn't seen the episode yet. Can you not spoil the episode?
Brian, I think he's just joking.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Because, like, dude, like, I'm not talking that loud. Like, I'm not even talking that loud. Oh my goodness, like, dude, seriously. Wasteland, did you hear? Yeah. I already told my Okay, right. Listen, Wasteland, I'm sorry, but I'm still gonna talk about the episode, okay? I'm not taking out spoilers. I'm sorry. If your mom cannot, you're probably joking, but seriously, if your mom, and if you're not joking, if your mom cannot leave the room, I'm sorry, that's on her, okay?
Why don't you just go to your room?
Yeah, like, like I said, man, I'm not changing how I do streams because it just doesn't, for a person, it just not, it's gonna hurt everyone. Okay, so, oh yeah, like I said, Rick, why don't they just go to the civilian government with this? Okafor is a lieutenant colonel. Like, he's like second, if you think about it, right? In the CRM, like, isn't he like second?
Okafor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they respect him a lot because, again, Rick is the reason. I'm sorry, no, Okafor is the reason Rick is still alive. So, and
Right.
even Bill's like, you and Pearl, wouldn't have been allowed even to be a consignee. But, Okafor made good points about you two, and yeah.
Right. So yeah, like I said, I mean, also let's remember the fact that Okafor was able to pardon Rick for leaving the CRM 4 times. Trying to leave the CRM that many times. It's like, he has to be high ranking with a lot of power in order to do that. And let's remember, Elizabeth, she was a lieutenant colonel too, and she got away. She, was in charge of a lot of operations and stuff and power. She had a lot of power. So yeah, man, exactly. In my opinion, Okafor is pretty high up there. So why does he just go to the civilian government? Like, I don't know. It's so weird.
I don't think Elizabeth is going to be in the series. It sounds like since now we're going into the years to the present time and she's already in jail,
Here's the thing,
I don't think we're going to see her though.
Here's the thing, though, Rick. This episode, the end of the episode where Rick and Michonne, that's 1 year. That's 1 year after World Beyond. That's 1 year after Omaha.
Really? No, I don't think so. That's now because 1 year that would basically be
Right before
around
the
season
finale.
10.
No,
Yeah, because okay,
no. Season
World
10.
Beyond. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, season 10 is like several months after season 9, and it takes place. It's around the 10 to 11 year mark of the apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like season 10 is about 10.5 years in the apocalypse. It's around there, I think. Like it's around there.
Well, it's because all right. So like World Beyond, we know they're in the 10 years in the apocalypse because they talk about it in the first episode, and season 9, like the episode after Rick leaves, they're in the same year as World Beyond. So,
Actually,
and
no.
since season 10 starts, like, what happened?
They're actually a little bit before. You got to remember. Judith was literally turned 3 years old as soon as Rick was taken. So 6 year time skip. That season 9 was 9 years and 10 months into the apocalypse. So it's still
Yeah,
like
but
a few months before World Beyond. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's still like a few months off. Like, but yeah, I get what you're saying. But I guess what I'm trying to also say is that from the end of season 9 to 10, not that much time passes if you think about it. Like,
well, it's
because
because Rosita gave birth to Coco. That's like almost a year, pretty much. I remember Angela King even saying it was like 10 to 11 months after the season finale of season 9.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so because um, they had Alpha literally said after the winter that they were gonna head back. So like you can assume it took them a few months to get back north. Like so it's like Rosita was already pregnant a few months prior, like you know what I mean, in season 9, and then I assume. And here's the thing though, we see them going into winter with the snow, and then we see the snow gone. So I assumed it was like 6 months later, kind of thing. Um, because yeah, like I said,
Oh,
man, I think they said they just came off of winter. You know what I mean? Because if it was 10 months, it's like, oh, they would have boom had another winter coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that part gets iffy. I don't know.
yeah, but let's see.
Okay. All right.
Wait,
So
oh wait, what did you think of the reunion between Rick and Michonne?
I enjoyed it. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was shocked. I didn't expect it this early. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect it this early.
Did you
Um,
get spoiled about how it happens, or
yes and no. Not by leaks. You want to know how I was spoiled?
oh,
By AMC. You can't show a promo of Rick looking up with his back to the ground, to the grass, and he's got a bleeding forehead, and then you see Michonne looking down, and she's in that same forest, and she's like, like it just doesn't work. Like AMC
I
released
think it
that.
was from like a different country too, because I remember that promo was in a different language. So
Maybe, but
yeah,
like it still was made by AMC. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, I get it, but
They still shouldn't
yeah,
have
I
released that. That's too much. That's on AMC. I blame AMC on that. Not the Spoiling Dead fans. That promo showed too much. You can't show Michonne seeing Rick. You just can't. You can't. It's too much. Um, yeah.
I I do find it funny. She
She almost
freaking
killed him.
almost killed him. Yeah, twice. She could have. Imagine she hit Rick with the missile instead of Okafor because he wasn't even far from him. They were literally right next to each other.
Dude,
And then she
imagine,
almost lit his throat. Like, oh my god.
dude, like she literally like she literally could have blown up. Um, she literally could have blown up Rick. Like, doesn't that explosive thing she shoots? Doesn't that cause a huge explosion? Like, I'm surprised
I've
Rick.
seen some people saying that they're surprised how the helicopter didn't explode with that.
Right. Like, I'm surprised Rick didn't lose his head from that, like, Okafor. Because, like, yeah, it's just like, what? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a cool scene. It's just like, but in episode 2, you're going to see Michonne use that same weapon, and it's going to, like, blow up, like, 10 zombies. And it's like, wait, so how did Rick not get blown up? You know what I mean? So, like, now I'm kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird, you know? But, um, dang, man, she shot down that chopper. I wish. I mean, don't get me wrong, the crash was cool, but um, part of me thinks it would have been better if they showed the outside of the helicopter when it crashed. Like, dude, imagine that. Imagine if
I
they showed
I
outside the
think we could get
helicopter.
that still. Cause it looks like the next episode will be her point of view. You know, this episode was just about showing what Rick's been doing. The next one is going to be showing what Michonne's doing, and Rick will still be in it, but it's mostly just going to be Michonne's what she's been doing the whole time, and then I think it'll be her point of view later in the episode, shooting down that helicopter.
Yeah, I hope they show us the outside view of the helicopter crash. That would be cool. If they do, then I won't knock off the episode for that. I'm just saying that, like, dude, we've seen helicopter crashes in movies and other shows, and I'm like, dude, like, I feel like we got to see that at some point, like, because it looks cool. But yeah, if we see it in
Yeah,
episode 2, then that'll be fine. But yeah, I know we're gonna get Michonne's point of view. It's just that, like, oh man, like I don't know. It's just I'm not gonna hate the episode. I just think I'm not gonna like it as much as this episode because we're just gonna see Michonne looking for Rick. There's gonna be barely any CRM, and then we're gonna see the CRM kill her people, and then she's gonna be all vengeful and then blow up the helicopter, and then she kills them, and then but to be fair, I do like the whole reversal where it's like, oh, we're gonna see the other way, you know, like that's cool. That's cool. Like so I'm okay with doing a mostly Michonne episode as long as episode 2 is the only episode where it's mostly Michonne. Like, because yeah, we only have 5 episodes left.
yeah. I mean, I do like that Okafor trained Rick so well too that he landed the helicopter without like exploding.
Yeah,
They all the soldiers didn't die.
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can train someone for that.
Well, that's why it was a joke. Like
Oh,
he trained them so well, he did not explode the helicopter landing.
yeah. Um, Dude, like Michonne was just like stabbing them, and Rick's like crawling. It's like, oh man, all that training for nothing. Like, I get it. Like, I don't know. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, how crazy is that? Like, these are the CRM elites, and they get blown up. And I get it. They're disoriented, all that. But it's like, really, you guys are getting massacred. Like, Rick Grimes was almost massacred by Michonne. Like, that's
They
weird.
were really stunned though. I mean, they got pushed back by explosives, and that whole thing was unexpected
Dude, I know,
to them.
but dude, they have serious armor. You can't deny that.
I don't know. I always find that armor that is useful against zombies. You know, it doesn't look like bulletproof stuff.
I feel like it should be. It looks like it looks like it is, but yeah.
Maybe
Um
the helmet. I just don't see the whole like other clothes of it all bulletproof. But I don't know. Maybe they'll show more of that.
I don't know. Um Michonne almost killed Rick. Yeah. Do you think Okafor died too soon? No, he died at the right time. What's your favorite scene of in the first episode? Uh I don't know. It's either their crash, you know, Okafor's death in the crash, and then the scene where Michonne comes in. I really like the part where Okafor gets shot and then up to the reunion with Michonne, like around that whole sequence. I think that's really good. But anything else, I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of individual scenes, but like for example, Rick. One thing is like we got the like for example, Rick in the hospital pulling out the hidden blade. Like I'm like, yes, that's awesome, but that was just like 5 seconds, so like that's not even a scene. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, like this it's kind of hard to pull like, oh, what scene is your favorite. I did like the Rick confronts Okafor scene. That was cool, but I don't think that was my favorite because like I said, I'm like, Oh wow, like
Well, Andrew Lincoln's acting right there was like so freaking good. I mean, he's still he's really good in all his scenes, but that one was just like he nailed it.
that they were shoved with strong explosive. Yeah, I guess it's just uh I don't know. Um yeah, Andrew Lincoln did great. It's just that um it's just that the problem is I think at certain parts the writing could like was it Gimple that wrote this or was it mostly Andrew? Was it mostly Deny? Was it all three of them? Because this
No,
episode
Andrew didn't write it. He just gave him money for it.
okay, yeah, because like I said, there's some things where I'm like, I feel like this episode could have done a tiny bit better. Like I said, the whole Rick losing his hands, how that didn't get infected, I feel like that could have been touched up a little bit more. Because like I said, it's not a big deal. It's just a little bit confusing because how he didn't get infected, and then also the constant scenes
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, Rick is doing this and then that and that. I really wish we could have seen Rick wake up in the CRM. Oh, sorry, not CRM, in the Civic Republic Hospital like a reference to Days Gone By. I feel like that would have been really cool. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like this should have been the episode to do that scene. You know what I mean?
There were some references though from the first season, like with the little girl.
Right.
It messed it up for him
Right.
from escaping. That was also
Right.
like he
That's
saw a
good.
little girl. When he first saw it in the first episode of Walking Dead.
Right. Right. Here's the thing though. I admit that little girl thing part was good. Um, because she was the reason Rick failed to escape. You know all that stuff. That's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just I was kind of confused. I'm like, wait, so was their mission to get chemicals or was it their mission to get the kid? Like, that part was kind of confusing to
No,
me a little bit.
I heard they just found the kid there. It wasn't planned for the kid. It was just they found her and brought her to the CR since she was alone.
Right, right. I just feel like that was a little bit weird because, like, I think they said, like, what they say? They said blank is secure or something like that. I, I don't.
Yeah, the place they were at.
Yeah, I guess that part would kind of confuse me. Like we didn't get to see what chemicals they needed from the place, so I'm like, okay, so what was their mission? Like that part kind of confused me, I suppose. Um, you know what I mean? So like, yeah. But like, oh yeah, I think they said like, oh yeah, the girl's family was killed. Um, like, and they're like,
Yeah, Rick killed them. Well, he didn't kill them when they were alive, but as zombies. That
yeah, but it's like, what? You expect me to be sorry about that? Like, they're zombies. Like, you know what I mean? I thought they made it. I thought they were trying to. When Rick threw the grenade down, I thought they were trying to make it seem like, oh, her family was down there and you killed them when you threw that grenade down. It like, but no, it was like, oh no, they were dead already. It's like, well then, why did you? I don't know. The way Pearl said that, it sounded like she tried to make Rick feel guilty or something like that. You know what I mean? Like things like that were just kind of confusing. I'm like, wait, what? Like he killed zombies. Why are you trying to make him feel guilty? Like that part kind of confused
I
me though.
think it was. No, I was just gonna say. I think it's either because it was right in front of her. That's why the little girl, or she had just lost her parents. Like not long ago. Probably like
Right.
I don't know, really recently. So that's why.
Were they fresh zombies? Um, I have to look back, but they kind of look decayed when I looked at them.
I don't. Yeah, I think they were really recent. I don't think she would be. I don't think she would survive on her own like that.
No, but what I'm saying is, did the zombies, the parents, physically look decayed in the episode? Like, like was that a
Yeah, I'm sure it
production?
was.
Was that a production
I'm
error?
sure it was.
Oh, so that was a.
Oh,
Oh, you think that was a production error? Or do they look fresh? I have to go back and watch that.
yeah. I have to look back too, but I'm pretty sure they.
Oh, hey, Matt.
I don't think it
Hey.
was a production error.
Okay, yeah, I have to look back and see the zombies because I'm like, did they look skinny? All that? Like, did they look wrinkly? Did they look? You know, I have to look back and see if they're fresh. But yeah, yeah. Rick killed them, and then I think they said the little girl was covered in their blood, organs, and stuff. But I'm like, wait, if she was covered in fresh guts, shouldn't the zombies have went after her more? Not as in she was camouflaged. That part kind of
I
confused me
don't.
too.
No, I don't think. I don't think they were saying that she did that. Covered her parents' blood on her. No, no, no. I don't think so. I think it was just regular walkers that she did that.
Okay, yeah, I was just kind of confused there, the way Pro was talking. Hey, Megamat, nice to see you, man. You have any questions, just let me know. Can we get back? Yeah, Wasteland, we are talking about the episode. Uh, okay, so, um, then the ending, and then this. Oh, yeah, so Rick mentioned his father. His father committed insurance fraud, all that stuff when he was a little kid. He even mentioned his mom. Like, that's crazy. This might be the first time. Has Rick ever mentioned his parents? Like, honestly, he's mentioned his dad maybe in season 2 a little bit, but like, from the main show. But like, yeah, Rick has like
Yeah, he
barely
talked
ever
good
mentioned.
about his father with Carl. He said something that I wish I had something good to say to you. My father was always good like that. I have to remember the whole quote, but it was something like that.
Right,
He was
like,
talking to Carl.
yeah, like Rick doesn't mention his parents that often, which I get it. They have been dead a long time, like since day one of the outbreak. But still, I'm like, yeah, they don't
He
mention
talked
much.
about his grandfather too in season 5.
Yeah, yeah, I know DeRosa. I'm just saying that I said his parents, not his family or his, you know, further family besides Lori and Carl, like kind of thing. I'm talking about his, like other family,
Yeah, I know.
like
I was just saying that.
yeah. Those are some legends. He mentioned Grandpa. Yeah. Okay, guys, another 15 minutes and I'm ending the stream. So if you guys have any questions about the episode, the next couple episodes, please ask me because as soon as we hit that hour and a half mark, I am clocking out and ending the stream. So yeah. Okay. So oh yeah, go ahead, Rick. You have any else things you want to talk about?
I was just gonna say that when we're talking about Michonne finding Rick again, how close was it too that she almost slit his throat if she didn't remove the mask? She could have just like been lazy
Yeah.
to remove it and just did that. Like, oh my god, that was such a close one.
Yeah. Imagine she did it like. Imagine she stabbed Rick and then took off the mask, and it was like. like
Oh, she would never be the same again. She would. Oh my god.
oh my goodness, that is like some serious messed up torture, like in a story. If you were writing it, like my goodness, like that's just crazy. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
I would want if that were to happen. I wonder how she would tell Judith.
yeah, like she would probably lie and say I couldn't find the brave man instead of saying your father, which yeah, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, so okay, so here's the thing. Okafor knows about Alexandria, I guess, because he even says that like Michonne. There's not a lot of names like that even before, and the way area we picked you up at. So does the CRM have spies in the Commonwealth in Alexandria? Do they have people who watch Alexandria? Like I feel like I really hope we get an
No,
explanation on that.
I don't think so, man. Because like, I just think he meant that they could easily find her just by that name. Because that there's not a lot of people with that name. So I think he was saying that we could easily find her.
Oh, okay, but how easily find her? Like, would they check records before the apocalypse of people named Michonne or something, or would they just go to where Rick was picked up and then ask and just search all the communities, come across any survivor, and be like, "Hey, have you seen this woman? Have you heard a woman named Michonne?" Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that how would the CRM track down Michonne? Because obviously she's gone. They don't know that, but like, how would they track down Michonne? Like, I feel like it's more simple to just say we know about Alexandra. I feel like that's just so much more simple than saying we could find Michonne if we wanted to. It's like, how would you find her? You know?
Yeah, I don't think they know about Alexandria. I don't think Jadis told him because one of the leaked scenes that was filmed by somebody. Rick was arguing with her, and I could tell it was about don't say a word about Alexandria.
Right, but she could have still done it off screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's hard to say because I think Bill would have probably wiped it out.
No, I don't think so because I think he would probably not see the effort, like why you would need to. Like you know what I'm saying? Because like think about it, a community of 50 people that don't even know you exist. Like like I could see Bill saving that in his back pocket. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing about Beale as a character. When he went to go talk with Rick, he knows that Rick is lying about Okafor. Somehow he knew that Okafor was planning something against him, but he didn't want to act on it because obviously he probably just wants to wait a little bit longer until Okafor really has enough, until he has a little bit more evidence and more support so that he could take down Okafor in front of everyone and be like, yeah, he tried to overthrow us. Make Beale himself look like a hero. You know what I mean? Like,
Actually, I have a question about World Beyond on this with
of
Rick,
course.
because,
Go ahead.
yeah, when they saw him and Pearl saw like on the news that Omaha was wiped out,
Yeah.
I'm surprised because that they did not know it was the CRM doing it, because I thought Rick was high rank. He was already a soldier now since he was training. I'm surprised that he doesn't know it was a CRM because Jadis knows. Jadis knew about the attack, so I'm just surprised that Rick and Pearl don't know it was a CRM because Pearl was all like, the CRM are still around because we chose to be hidden. While Omaha is willing to take in anybody.
Right, but then again, it's like, well, you guys kind of partially are too. Like, not everyone in the CRM and CR is like was there at the start. Like, all the consignees are literally people they found. You know what I mean? Jadis is something
Yeah,
they found out there. It's like obviously most of the CRM is not um people they found out in the wilderness, but a good amount are. You know what I mean? Like, at least a good population. They have a whole district of consignees. Like, that's a decent amount of people.
yeah.
So, yeah. Hey Dan, I'm glad. Yeah, I know you enjoyed everything about this episode. It's just a few things here and there where I think it could have been. I really wish we could have seen the CRM. I'm sorry, the Civic Republic city itself, not just like the consignee district. And I feel like it also. I feel like we should have had the Days Gone By scene where Rick wakes up in the hospital. I feel like that was too good of an opportunity for them to not do. You know what I mean? Things like that where I'm like, I I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really good, but I'm like, it's not great. I feel like, really they could have helped put some icing on the cake where it's like, wow, they didn't have to do that, but it was amazing. You know what I mean? Um, like, you know what I mean? Like I said, Rick waking up in a hospital with fresh flowers at his side, a working clock. He looks outside the window, like all that stuff. Doctors, a nurse. Like, I feel like that was too good to not do. You know what I mean?
You thought his training was rushed. No, you said her.
Sorry,
His
what?
training was rushed. You thought his training was rushed?
Well, yeah. That's another small ish, concern I had with the episode. Like, I do think where it's like, oh yeah, Rick has been a consignee for 6 years, and then now he did training for like a year, about a year ish, and then it's like, oh, now he is a soldier, and then the end of the episode, like Rick has only been a soldier what 1 year at least, maybe two maximum. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that I guess I was thinking he was a soldier for a little bit longer than 2 years. Or 1 to 2 years. I guess I expected him. I thought he was a soldier a little bit longer because, like, what is his rank? Is he a private? Is he a captain, lieutenant? He's in the front lines. Like, that's the elite group. You know what I mean? So that whole part thing was kind of weird. I mean, Rick has done the whole hospital thing so many times. LOL. Yeah, I know what you mean, DeRosa, but in my opinion, this was to premiere. You just had to do it. In my opinion, I get what you're saying, but in my opinion, I just feel like you had to do it. Whereas the
That
rest,
that would have worked after being taken for the first time. Being impaled. That would have worked. Waking up in the hospital. That's how I thought the ones who live would have started.
right? Yeah, see what I mean? And in my opinion, they could have at least done that scene, like as a callback to the very first episode. But it's like they didn't do that. I'm like, well, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of disappointed. I'm like, I was really hoping they would do that. I feel like that's a golden scene. You know what I mean? Like to
Yeah,
have.
I don't think they did that because Andrew Lincoln had to be short hair again, and then can't grow that OG hair all back in a couple of days. So they just were like, all right, let's just go a few years in.
But couldn't they have? They couldn't use a wig or something, or just keep Andrew Lincoln with short hair.
No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think they would have used a wig.
I mean, Denai uses a wig and it looks good. I don't know. Rick is at some of his best in this episode. Yeah, I agree with that, Dan. It's just that I just feel like some parts of the writing, like Pearl was great, like the actress, she's really good. It's just that some of her dialogue is like, what? Like, you know what I mean? When she makes Rick feel guilty about killing the zombies, like that little girl's parents, I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? That's how I kind of interpreted the scene. It's just um because I just feel like the dialogue could have been touched up a little more. I wish they didn't do such a
I
long
mean,
time skip in season 9. Yeah, same. They did too many time skips. In The Walking Dead season 9 to 11. Guys, hey
that
guys,
was to make
five more
Judith more
minutes and I'm
older.
leaving. Sorry, what?
No, that time jump, that big time jump was just to make Judith, more older, so she could,
Yeah,
um,
take over
have more
Carl.
dialogue and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just that you can't deny that The Walking Dead after Rick left, they kept doing time skip, time skip, time skip. It got so annoying.
You know, I do like what they did with Rick this episode. Like, this was really different than we've ever seen him. Like, he was willing to die a lot. It was just crazy. You never seen him really like that before, willing to die.
Yeah, that's true, man. I agree with that. It's just that ugh, sorry. Um, it's just that like that makes sense. That's organic to the character, to the lore, the world. He's in a desperate situation. It's just that, like I said, the little things I had concerns with, and the little areas where I kind of feel like they could have sweetened up this episode, where it's like, oh yeah, we get to see, um, more large scale CRM stuff. Like the city itself, and Rick waking up in the hospital, and maybe a quick mention of Jadis where Okafor's like, yeah, she told me everything. Like, I don't know, little things like that would have been like, oh, finally. Like, and listen, I'm okay with not getting an answer on Heath because he's dead. Heath is dead. Let's be honest, guys. Heath is dead. Um, like he's long dead. We don't need an answer on him. We forgot Rick
Yeah,
gave
I
up at the
mean,
end until he found the Michonne at the end there. Yeah, that was interesting. Was there a promo for episode 2? Yes, there was. It's mostly Michonne based. It was quite sad seeing our hero like that. Yeah. What were you saying, Rick?
no, no. I was just talking about how I like how what they did with Rick, being all depressed because to me this episode didn't feel like we've ever seen him like this in the original show. He was always this, um, faithful, good leader, and yeah, so it was just crazy to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It was interesting. You guys have any last minute comments? Because I'm ending the stream real soon. It was quite sad seeing her. I mean, Heath would have made this more interesting. Not gonna lie, I disagree with that, DeRosa. Respectfully, I just don't care about Heath. I could care less, honestly. Heath was not important to anyone. Not to the actor himself. Not to the characters. Not to his best friend. Like nobody cared about Heath. Nobody. You know.
It doesn't really matter to bring him back anyway because the people he did talk to in Alexandria, they're dead now, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. Even Scott is dead. You know what I mean? Like, obviously off screen, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously you can disagree with me or whatever, but in my opinion, Scott is dead. Is this the best you've seen of Rick? I would say it's some of the best, but I definitely feel like some of the other, I still feel like we could have had some more like icing on the cake in this episode. You know what I mean? To make it really good. I miss Morales.
Is
Well, you're the only one. Let's see. Okay.
you know
Go ahead.
Rick's CRM training could have saved him from the governor.
Yeah. I guess it could have. That's the thing though. Like, would Rick? How is he good at fighting now? Like, that's one thing I'm wondering. Because like I said, they kind
Well,
of
he could
skimmed.
flip people.
I mean, a little bit, but like, yeah, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, even Pearl did, and she was just starting. So I don't know. Nah, man, Scott
That
is
is
still
true,
alive.
huh? She did.
No, no, DeRosa, Scott is dead. Please, guys, let's remember Scott is dead. Let's that monster. I'm not monster, but
How,
that
how was
loser.
he dead?
He died off screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
how?
well, there was blood in Alexandria in the Commonwealth. Like after they took over Alexandria by the windmill, there was like blood, where Negan and his wife and all the others were going to be executed. So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess Scott was one of those people before. Like
So
it would
wouldn't
have
it be Barbara too?
possibly. I don't know. But Scott, yeah, because like I just hate him. I hate him. Like, all right. Looks like they are teaching Rick judo and MMA. Interesting. Any other World Beyond characters you want to show other than Silas? Joshua, I want all of them. As much as it pains me, even Iris, because I want to see Portland, which
Mm,
I know Iris sucks, but they have to address the whole Portland thing. As much as it sucks, they have to address the whole Portland thing in the show. Because here's
come
one
on,
thing we
Brian. We don't need all of them.
I think we kind of do. Like I'm not saying they can't die. I'm just saying that I feel like we need all of them because in this show they have to bring back Portland, and I feel like if we don't see Iris, it's gonna be like, wait, what happened to her? Like, you know what I mean? I will be curious and ask like, what happened to her? If Portland is brought into the show. All right, man. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end the stream now. Rick, do you have any last minute things you want to talk to me or ask me real quick about Portland, Omaha, CRM, next episode? Any last question?
You know what? What I just figured out, I think I know why they didn't show Jadis is because they would probably have to bring in Huck, since it sounds like Jadis was with her a lot, trained her to be where she is today. So that's probably my theory on it, why Jadis wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, but Jadis became a warrant officer, which means she would have had to have had years of experience, unlike Rick, who's just has maybe one or two maximum. So yeah, like Jadis has more. She has to have more experience than Rick. So which means she had to have been trained as soon as she got to the CRM. You know, to be a warrant officer. You know what I mean? Because yeah, you just can't be a warrant officer. Is pretty high. You know, in 6 years, like yeah, you got to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope, I know you want all the World Beyond characters to be in the show, but I just hope a lot of them don't. I'm okay with Silas, maybe Mason,
Yeah.
just
In
not
my
Iris
yeah,
Hope.
in my opinion, Mason and Silas they're musts. Huck and Dennis, they don't have to be. They're dead in this timeline. Um, is this first episode better than all of World Beyond season 2? In my opinion, no. I really enjoyed World Beyond season 2. Like, sure, here's the thing: the characters are not as good as Rick, obviously, but how the story was, like with the CRM and all that, and the tension I felt and the plot, it was just so good. Whereas with this episode, it was really just like, you know what I mean? It's just one episode of story. It's not the same. Uh, Even in real life, it takes 6 to 7 years to become a warrant officer. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream right now. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all next week for episode 2. Gone. Bye.